So I was just having like a kind of like
In between
not recording,
conversation.
like in between conversation with
Just get
Sadie
some
and Carson. And I just told them, I expect both of you to be, reposting this episode on your story.
I
And
agreed.
Yeah, she agreed. And then Carson brought up something that I find really interesting. He said, oh no, all my teammates are gonna clown me for this. Do you feel like your guys' teammates are people that you're able to have open conversations and communicate with?
Yeah, I do feel like I can like have open conversations with them because we usually have a point where we like in the night on some weeks that we just talk to each other about how we're feeling with dance and things like that.
That's great.
And we also have like leadership meetings where we talk. So I feel like I can be really open with my friends at dance.
Yeah.
I feel like I can talk to my teammates like seriously when I need to, but we kind of just make fun of each other just because we're friends. Like that's
So-
what we
Oh
do.
yeah,
Teasing each other?
Yeah.
teasing each other, that comes a lot with my friends too.
Do you guys feel that there's a healthy competition between you guys?
Yes.
Okay. Nobody clown Carson for this episode, please. He's very scared about it. Sorry. Okay. What scares you two the most? Failing your sport?
Sorry, I thought that was just the general question. What scares you the most?
Sorry. What scares you the most, comma, failing your sport or being bad at it and loving it?
Probably failing at it, because then everything you've done is lost.
I feel like that, but also like, I don't know. I feel like if I've been bad my whole life, but I've loved it my whole life, I don't know, like, that would mess me up if I knew that though.
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like failing at it would be like,
If you were just naturally
Awful.
really awful at your sport, which Carson and Sadie are both amazing athletes, but if you guys weren't great at your sport, would you guys just give it up even though you love it?
I feel
I
like
don't know, because I feel like if I didn't perform well, I wouldn't have some of the opportunities that I've had in the past. So I don't know how it would affect how I would feel about my sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same with me. I don't know how I just don't know how I'd feel.
Yeah.
I would be devastated. I'd be like, oh, I've stunk the whole time and nobody told me.
Oh yeah, that must no.
Yeah.
So, do you think your sport is a path for something greater that opens more doors and opportunities for you guys?
I feel like it is, because it's already opened doors for me to meet new people and be in different areas and travel and see new things. And eventually, along the road, it could even land me a college scholarship if it gets serious enough.
What was the question?
Do you think your sport is a path to something greater?
I think it is. With dance being so selective as it is, you have to, I don't know, it's like the place where I want to go and when I go into college, it's very selective. It's like,
Yeah.
I think 24 people? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 24 people they accept at the auditions, and you
Wow.
go through 4 auditions for it.
That's crazy.
I think that's what,
Does the
this
thought of
teacher-
that scare you guys ever? That
I'm terrified.
Oh, it's like, does the thought of not having something that you're as good as at your sport to fall back on if God forbid something really bad happens ever occur to you? Like if injury or all of a sudden you lose your love for the sport, you fall in a really large slump, as we see a lot of athletes happen to them?
I'm very scared.
You're very scared.
I'm very scared because I'm putting all my faith into dance. Like, not all my faith, but like
all
my
your
effort.
Yeah.
It's really scary because... Stop it.
Moving on to a different aspect about being a student athlete, and this is not only something you see in student athletes, something you just see in students in general, or athletes in general, or just anyone in general. I feel like a lot of people go through this, especially just at any point in their life. It can happen to anyone at any time. Burnout. Have you guys ever experienced burnout while trying to juggle being a student, maintaining great good grades and being an athlete at the same time and just being able to perform. Guys ever get tired at all?
Yeah, it feels like there's almost certain times where you dread having to do the next thing in your sport. And it gets hard because you think that you don't love it anymore, but it's the opposite. That you love it so much
that you're going through all these things.
Yeah,
for it.
it's like a scary thought whenever you're like, when you're doing your sport and you're just thinking, oh, I really don't want to do this right now. And it's like, oh, I'm just tired, but if it goes on for like weeks or months, then you're like, I don't know what's going on. I feel like I've lost my love for it, but you still care about it so much.
That's why you're still pushing yourself, even though you're tired. Yeah, it's always there in the back of your mind. Like, do I really enjoy this, or do I just feel pressured by my coaches and teammates to do this, you know?
Yeah, that's always like a scary thing of me, because like I feel like, I don't know if I know I love it, but I always feel like there is sometimes an outwards thing coming at me. Are you gonna...
Okay, do you guys ever feel guilty or have FOMO, the fear of missing out, whenever you have to choose between school, life, friends and families, and sports?
I do feel like that all the time.
You
I feel like I'm always like missing out more like with friends.
That's
I feel
a big
like I'm
thing,
missing out more with my friends and stuff, and like, oh, they're planning to do something. I can't. I have rehearsal that day.
I definitely feel like I miss out on the friends aspect because people will plan all these things, you know, like group get-togethers or parties, and then I'll have practice, and I can only miss so much practice, so I can't go to everything, and you tend to worry that you're missing out on something that's going to happen.
Do you guys feel like what you get in your sport is reimbursing you, I don't know if that's the right word, but for what you're missing out on with your friends?
I feel like I have a lot of friends in the sport, so then I feel like I'm not missing out as much. But I feel like if I was more alone, then I would feel like I'm missing out all the time.
Do you guys ever feel like you're labeled as something that doesn't give the whole story or the whole picture of what and who you actually are? Like, do you ever feel like you're just labeled as a full-time athlete or full-time student or just a student athlete in general?
Yeah, I feel like if you don't know me and you and someone asked about me, like they would probably say that he's an athlete and like that's it, and like you wouldn't know everything about me by just what somebody says.
It doesn't give you the whole picture of who you are. It's just like an easier generalization for people to say about you, you know?
I feel like I'm usually labeled more. It's just like, oh, she's just a dancer.
She's just a dancer,
Yeah. And
on the topic of identity, do you guys have a fear of who am I if I stop playing?
Yeah.
I feel like there's like nothing to say about myself if like I'm just another person if I don't have
just
sports.
Another face in the crowd. Yeah,
that's basically the same thing. I feel like I don't have anything else to give. I'm like, oh, I go to school. That's it.
My name's Sadie. Hi.
Go to school, and then I'm done. And then I feel like I have nothing else to offer to people and be like, hey, I also do this, and like things like that.
Do you guys have a fear of getting injury? I know we've talked about this already, but if you did have an injury, does a thought ever come to your head, what happens next?
I have a huge fear of my Achilles snapping. That's
that happens a lot.
It's I think that's the ACL that happens a lot.
Achilles
is like I'm not like a physical therapist or anything, but I'm pretty sure it's like from your heel and it goes up your leg. But I've been told in dance, it's like a rubber band snapping in your leg. And I've been told in dance, if that ever happens to you, you are never gonna dance again.
It's definitely scary because you hear all the stories about like these athletes who were amazing and then something happened, like right as their last year, like right as they were going to college or right as they were going to go into a professional.
It's a terrifying thought,
Injuries are
some specific turning points in your guys' journeys. Was there ever a moment you wanted to quit or ever a part where you just felt like you couldn't give it anymore? You couldn't give your sport anymore while also maintaining good grades?
I think around this time last year when I was coming out of middle school and I didn't make the high school team, it was really hard to keep going at the time because I wasn't getting in the same work as other people. Like I would have to approach the situation differently, and it was kind of scary, and it kind of made me want to give up on it because I didn't know where to go from there.
Yeah, I feel like
The question was,
We're tired. So that's it.
are there any specific turning points in your journey?
okay.
Like, did you ever want to quit, or did you ever feel like you just couldn't pursue it anymore?
I feel like I've never had a point where I'm just like, oh, I just want to quit. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm done with this. I can't wait for the year to be over. But I do feel like there's been points where I can't name a specific one, where I've just been like, I don't know how long I can do this. I'm like, this is so much. But
Yeah.
I feel like I'm growing to where I feel like I can balance it easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it.
Because I've been dealing with it for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys, how long have both of you been doing your sport for,
I'm
or
going
sports
on-
at all in general? Because I know both of you've done several sports before.
I think I'm going on 12 years of dance.
12 years of dance for
7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years. That's incredible. Do you guys feel like schools, at least in your guys' personal experience, prioritize academics or sports over what you're doing?
Definitely academics.
I agree.
And I guess that really factors in the school environment and stuff like that.
Well, there are certain schools that I feel like are more focused on sports, but the general school, like the
Yeah.
average school, is going to be focused on academics because that's the numbers that help them
Yeah.
just, like look better.
Yeah.
And so they're gonna want to like put out more academic people that are gonna be successful and things like that because
Unless their main focus is sports, and then that's the numbers
Yeah.
that they want.
Does that ever affect you guys?
yeah, because I think in a more academic school they're not as lenient on like sports and stuff, and they're like,
And
oh,
missing
you
out
need to have
days
this
and
and
stuff.
this and this.
Well, there's also the issue that certain schools that focus more on academics don't offer as many opportunities athletically.
I agree. Speaking of school environment, school systems, do you guys think that there's a lack of school support in general, or do you think schools give out some certain support for student athletes and understanding that they have things a little differently, they may be a little busier trying to juggle two different things at once?
I feel like there's no way to do that because the school doesn't want to make it seem like they're being treated specially just because they're an athlete.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be some kind of system, but I feel like it'd be hard to implement without picking favorites.
Yeah, and I feel like also, I don't know about you, but we don't do sports in the school, like school district and our school. We do, like I do, dance is just like an after school thing that I do, and it's not even connected to the school, so I feel like there's like no way for the school system to become lenient or like do something to help because I'm not connected to the school in any way with what I do.
Yeah, I understand how that kind of like separates you, you know? Is there anything you guys do wish that schools incorporated more, did something more of to help athletes or just students in general out?
I feel like this year I haven't had an issue with it as much.
That's good, yeah.
Maybe some sort of like study group that brings a bunch of athletes together where they can all talk about what they struggle with or like academically and mentally.
I like that.
Like a club.
Like just a club where
Yeah.
people can share experiences and things like that. I have another question. This one's really important. Do you guys think there's gender disparities in sports? Gender disparities, like differences in how male athletes and female athletes are being treated?
Hard to say with dance because there's not as many male dancers. There are male dancers though.
I feel like in certain sports, there's always the thought of like paychecks once it gets professional.
Yeah.
That like women basketball players, for example, are provided a fraction of professional men's.
Yeah. What is the reason behind everything you guys do as a student athlete? What's the reason you do it? Why do you do it?
I feel like the reason I do this is because I don't know. I feel like I'm so deeply connected to the sport that it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Is there a reason why you're deeply connected?
I was just put in at a really, like, I was put into dance at a really young age, and so, like, I've grown up with it, and I've learned to, like, use it to get across what I'm trying to feel.
Self-expression.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like
That's a reason.
that's how I've, like, built the connection with it, and I feel like if I did any other sport, I wouldn't have that deep of a connection with it.
I feel like originally the reason I started doing it was just because I enjoyed it, but now it feels more like a commitment. Like, it's still fun, but it feels also more like a commitment. Like, I need to start taking this serious. Like,
Yeah, a lot of athletes are put in at a really young age before they can even process if this is what I want and that's what I want. But they just kind of grow up with it, and the ones that end up sticking with it stick with it. And at some point, it's like Carson said, they realize they have to start making a larger commitment to it and taking it more seriously.
I don't even think I had, like, a conscience, like, whenever I joined dance, I'm being honest.
Yeah, you
I
were
had,
like, what, 4?
Yeah, I was, like, 3.5, 4.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think I had a conscience, so I think it's just, like, I went there and I was like, oh, this is fun.
And it worked out.
It worked out.
It worked out.
I guess it worked out.
What? Sorry? What has being a student athlete taught you? What's the most key trait that you've picked up from your sport?
I think I said this earlier, but, like,
Discipline.
just discipline, yeah.
Discipline?
Yeah.
And how, like, give me examples of what other areas of your life you're able to apply that to.
I think with, like, putting things off and not doing it, I'm like, okay, I need to do this. So, like, it's more like disciplining myself to, like, go and do what I need to do.
Even when you don't want to.
Even when I don't want to.
Yeah, that's
especially
pretty
with
important.
school projects.
I also,
yeah.
I also feel like you learn to pay more attention to detail. Like, when a coach or a trainer tells you what to do, you have to pay attention to detail to, like, pick up on it.
Finishing off, I just want to ask our guests if they have any words of advice for you guys.
Don't put all your self-worth into what happens in a sport. So, because you can keep going with that.
A sport really isn't everything. Like, there's so much more
To life.
Yeah, and you can't let, like, one mistake or one bad game ruin, like, your whole month. Like, eventually you have to get over it and come back better is the goal.
Yeah.
Improve from your mistakes.
And although, like, whatever it is, like, you did one bad performance or you did one bad game, it's not gonna change your life in a way. It's honestly
You
just a
learn
little
and grow
bump.
from it.
It's just a little bump in the road. And, like, it can get a lot better from there. You can learn from what you did.
And honestly, I think that's the biggest piece of advice is that you can't let any mistake that you make, like, just control however you're feeling or control the rest of your life.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other words of advice?
No, I think that's all.
Do sports.
Do sports.
They're fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. So, thank you everyone for listening to the Voices of Tomorrow podcast. And hit that like and subscribe button. Seriously though, it will help a lot. I know. Give it up for us guys. Yeah. Thank you guys. Please share this video to all your friends, especially Carson's friends at his practice. Yeah, this is definitely gonna go out to them. Sadie?
I'll make sure they read it.
Yeah.
But thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.